Hello and welcome to episode 76 of the Wisdom from the Akasha podcast. My name is Susie. I am your host and I am an Akashic Records teacher and practitioner. Today I wanted to share with you a download that I received from the Akashic Records in respect of this feeling that I know a lot of you are having in respect of this rising or this stirring of your internal divine feminine energy. Okay, now before we get into this conversation, we have to acknowledge that every single human being on planet Earth has both internal divine masculine energy and internal divine feminine energy. And a lot of what you're doing on the spiritual journey is practices to unite those energies, to balance those energies within you in the balance that is right for you to come to a place of divine union. Now, I am going to be hosting my Awakening the Divine Feminine Within class again this autumn. So we're starting in October, and there is currently an early bird discount on that one. So I will put the link into the show notes. If this is something that you're feeling, if this is an energy that you want to learn how to work with better, please do take a look at the webpage. And if it sounds like it's for you, if you register your interest there, you'll receive an email with the discount code. That discount code will be valid until the 31st of August. Now, I'm not going to go through the ins and outs of the class here today. I will make some other podcast episodes about what the class is going to cover, how it's going to be useful, if it's right for you. So don't panic. I'll do that in other podcast episodes. But today I just wanted to share this download with you. For anyone who has been on the spiritual journey for quite some time like myself, back in 2019, we were getting this information, this energetic understanding that there was going to be a shift and that it was going to be necessary for that internal divine feminine energy to arise and awaken within people. This was what was happening at the end of 2019. Now, if you remember back to 2020, with everything that happened in the world, one of the things that we saw was a lot of people were taking the time to really slow down and rest, and perhaps find how uncomfortable they are with rest. Lots of people were reconnecting or finding hobbies, so tapping into their creativity that maybe they hadn't done before. And what we also saw is that when people were able to start going back to work, back to quote unquote normal life, what was happening is the ways that people had functioned prior to the end of 2019, 2020 to going back were very different. So the old ways weren't working anymore. And this has to do with this kind of awakening and arising of this internal divine feminine energy. We have to remember that we are part of Earth's evolution. Okay, so when she shifts, when she wants to work with a dominance of energy, when she wants to work with a dominance of masculine energy, we see that. And when she wants to work with a dominance of feminine energy, we also see that. That then affects us. So we pick up on that and then we feel, okay, I need to start connecting to this more. The problem is, of course, is that lots of us are very disconnected from our internal divine feminine energy. And because our internal divine feminine energy has so many different expressions, you'll often hear the internal divine feminine energy being referred to as the energy or the goddess with 1,000 faces, because it is more complicated. A lot of the time when it comes back to wanting to connect to that internal divine feminine energy, the first thing we need to do, which is what the class is about, is actually understanding what our internal divine feminine energy is and understanding practices and ways that we can connect to that. So as I said, I'll make some more podcast episodes on it. I'll pop the link into the show notes if you want to get the early bird discount code. And now I will get into sharing the beautiful download that I received from the Akashic Records around this topic. I just wanted to share with you all. In this age, you may be feeling an internal stirring of the divine feminine as she rises again. We have to understand that this is not about regression and going back to the old ways of a lost matriarchal era. Yes, we can learn from those times and practices and connect to our ancestral lineages. All of this is beneficial and worthwhile. But we are ultimately being called to birth anew, to connect to our internal creative life force and bring forth practices, teachings, and modalities for the new earth that we are all co-creating. To tap into this creative spark, we need to slow down, we need to rest, we need to ponder, and we need to stop outsourcing our creativity to AI and performing for algorithms. This new era of the feminine hones. This new era of the feminine honours the past and prepares to birth the new. This is the time of unlocking the wisdom of the energetic womb, your creative portal. This is not the time. This is the time not only of maiden, mother, and crone, but also priestess, queen, and mystic. It is the time of Hecate, Sophia, Mary, and Isis. For too long now, women have been trying to spiritually develop, following the structure of men for men. These will only take you so far, as many of you will have already realized. As you are part of nature, you are a cyclical being and should honor yourself as such. What helps you one day may be ineffective the next day. You aren't broken, you are beautiful. You have a deep connection to Mother Earth, to Gaia. Spending time with the flora and fauna can expand you more than the same yoga asana practice every day. Find your flow, find your rhythm. As you do, you'll start to come up against layers of conditioning and programming. From good girl to boss babe, people pleaser to trad wife. The time is now to deprogram and decondition, to let the true you through. That may look like a deep expression of rage. It may look like burning down your old life with no idea of where you are going. It may look like true self-care, boundaries, and a lot of self-nourishment. It may even be all of this and more. However it all arises for you, honor it. Know that you are loved, protected, and supported. Know that you are always guided. The guiding voice may just be a little quiet right now. Make a commitment to yourself to honor yourself completely, to live a life aligned to your values, your energy, your desires. By doing so, you birth the new and help humanity as a whole rise up. I do hope that you enjoyed hearing that. One of the questions that I've really been feeling into, and I know lots of people in my community have as well, is we're moving towards new eras, new earths, however you want to talk about it. But what are you bringing to that? Okay, I know while old systems, old programs, everything's falling away, it can feel very discombobulating. You've heard me say that before. So I want you all to ponder, reflect upon, take into your meditation. What is it that I'm bringing through to the new earth or the new era, however you want to phrase it? What am I creating? What's going to be my contribution? Okay. And this doesn't have to be a huge, grand, I'm going to rule the world or anything like that. But think about it from an energetics perspective. What energies do you want to be focused on? What energies do you want to help plant into the collective and into yourself for these new eras? How do you want to spend your time? Okay, just really start feeling into all of these, because this is what this rising of this internal divine feminine is asking of you. It's what do you want to create? What do you want to birth through you? And this is regardless of gender. This is what this is asking of you. So take that into your practice, and I would love to hear from you if you enjoyed hearing one of my downloads, and also if you try this and if you feel into this question, how that works for you and how that looks for you. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I will see you, of course, next week for the next episode.